Welcome to Trailblazers, an initiative of the Faculty of Sport at the University of the West Indies. This series seeks to highlight the achievements of sporting luminaries from within the faculty, within the University of the West Indies, within the region, and even beyond. We'll be seeing excerpts on our athletes, on our scholars, and people who have a lot of influence in sports across the region and across the globe. These episodes will be released periodically, so stay tuned to the webpage of the Faculty of Sport, where you can see previous episodes as well as the program for future episodes. We trust that you'll enjoy Trailblazers.
Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Daren Ganga and I'm so happy to be with you today because it's the start of the University of the West Indies Faculty of Sport Trailblazers series. I'm so honored to be hosting the first episode of this series, and we're very proud to bring you a really special guest that I have in store for you. He is a graduate of the University of the West Indies Faculty of Sport. His name is Akeem Rudder, and I have great pleasure in introducing him. Welcome, Akeem. And
hi, Daren. Thank you so much for having me on today.
Yes, thanks for joining us. I know you have a very, very busy schedule, so we really appreciate your time. We want you to sit back, relax, and give us about 20, 25 minutes of your time today. Of course, I did mention you being a graduate of the University of the West Indies Faculty of Sport. You completed your BSc Sport Sciences, and we'd just like to find out, firstly, what led you into choosing such a program?
I think my life before taking the degree was really rooted in sport. From the time I could remember, I was always interested in sport. So I came up through primary school playing cricket. When I got to secondary school is when I got introduced to hockey. Hockey really took off for me. I became one of the better players in the sport. So that kind of gave me a lot of encouragement to pursue like a professional route in terms of sport. And when I checked out the program, it was a new program, well, in the second year at that time. And I thought it was very interesting and it was right up the path that I wanted to go. So that is why I chose to take the Bachelor's in Sport.
Excellent. We know a lot about you in the academic realm. Many persons might not know from where you came and a little bit of your background personally.
Yeah.
Could you share with us that story of you growing up and a little bit about your background?
Yeah, no problem. Growing up, I grew up in the country. In St. John is a parish in Barbados. And there is as I said, is in the country. So we played a lot. We did a lot of running around, a lot of climbing trees, playing cricket, road tennis, football on the road, and on the pasture as well. And through primary school, as I said, I was really interested in cricket at that time. I thought I would have become a big cricketer. I even was watching you playing at that time too. So for me, cricket was the major thing. And I think getting into secondary school and being introduced to hockey, it was one of the things where it just became so natural for me, right? The sport, I cannot explain why it's so natural to me, but it just took to me. And then I found that through sport, I gained a lot of confidence. I was a chunky kid when I was younger. And I remember very, very clearly that in first form, which is the first year of secondary school, I was very chunky, as I said. And I wasn't well known. I wasn't very popular in class, but I can tell you as soon as I started hockey that summer, all of the weight disappeared. And, this confident young man just popped up and it hasn't changed since. I can definitely say that sport has played a massive role in my confidence. And that kind of continued throughout my life where I got to travel to play hockey. I traveled to a lot of different parts of the world. I traveled to Holland. I lived in Argentina, UK. I went to Mexico playing several times for the national team. I got scholarships through hockey. My bachelor's for sports science was actually an academic scholarship that I got. So hockey really opened that door for me, to advance my career. So I would definitely say sport is one of the major drivers in who I am today.
Yeah, and I listened to your story about you wanting to play cricket first off before you ventured into hockey, and that's as good a choice that you can make coming from Barbados because of the number of persons who've gone on to play international cricket from such a tiny island. So it's
Yeah.
great to hear your story and your choice in choosing hockey.
Yeah.
At the Faculty of Sport, of course, we pride ourselves on the programs, both academic and non-academic programs that we offer for students. What was your experience like at the University of the West Indies Faculty of Sport in that said BSc Sport Sciences program? How would you describe that?
Yeah, I think it was a very multifaceted program. You know, every graduate left or would leave there with the critical knowledge and skills to be able to branch off into any field of sport that they wanted to. I especially like the specializations for management. Because I had a song exercise background, I decided to choose the management specialization because I found that was geared more towards creating a sport business and managing business. So for me, taking that route is why I was able to create my academy today. But throughout the program, I would definitely say that is very well rounded. It's songed on science and then it's songed on psychology of sport. It's songed on the sociology of sport as well. And there is a lot on biomechanics and then the creating a business, sport business, and understanding strategic management in sport. So as I said, the program is well-rounded and it gives the student a good foundation to branch off into other areas.
Well, you could not have said it any better. You gave a course outline there pretty much. But I'm sure you would have had non-academic experiences during your time at the university that would have aided probably shaping your hockey career and your
Oh,
interpersonal skills as a person.
Okay, yeah, sorry, I misunderstood. So non-academic, definitely. So being able to communicate and network with so many different persons from around the Caribbean, first off, I think that gave a different perspective to, you know, studying and even in the social aspect. So I've met a lot of persons who, as I said, came into to the island and in campus games. I think campus games is one of the biggest non-academic experiences for me, being able to go to the different campuses and interact and compete. You know, I think it really gave the word that I'm looking for is pride for your specific campus. You know, sometimes we will look at campuses like in the US, for example, and it's like this massive camaraderie. And I think being in the campus game settings really brought that to me. And I would always say I'm always a blackbird through and through. So that is one of the biggest non-academic experiences I would bank on for sure.
Excellent. Great to hear. Just briefly, what would be your advice to a young person seeking tertiary education?
My advice to any young person seeking education, tertiary education, would be to have a plan. Have a plan on where you would like to see yourself. And as you go through any program, try to tailor your assignments, try to tailor the way you prepare to kind of set you up for what you want to do later on. I think sometimes we just go through the program and we just do the assignments just to pass, but doing assignments with the knowledge that I could use this when I'm finished. So I think that to me would be one of the biggest. That would be a good advice I would give to anyone starting the program.
Well, I hope many young persons are listening to this interview, and hopefully you could, sort of inspire them. More recently, Barbados recognized youth excellence, where 13 persons were recognized for their outstanding work in their respective fields. Yourself, of course, received an award, the Banyan Award, for your excellent work. It was an initiative by the Minister of Youth, Charles Griffith, and pretty much it was focused on the youth.
Yes.
To ensure that there was positivity across Barbados and to recognize, as I mentioned before, the excellent work by many young persons across the landscape there. First up, I just want you to describe and share with us the work that you've been doing, which have led you to receiving this wonderful award, and congratulations as well.
Thank you. The work that I've been doing actually started within my bachelor's degree at the university. So it was there that I started to create this project to include persons with disabilities in hockey because I play hockey. And since that project, it really pushed me into different areas of disability and special needs. So the work that I do now, I have an academy called Include You Sports Academy, and the academy is solely dedicated to persons living with disability. And the academy is dedicated to helping persons to improve their activities of daily living, especially persons with autism. 80% of persons with autism normally have some type of motor challenge. So the idea for us, and as I am also an autism exercise specialist, so for me, I focus on helping persons, especially with autism, to kind of break barriers in terms of their movement and intervention, in terms of how they can learn, how they can be more social because it's a social disorder. So the recognition from the Ministry of Youth, I think, was I was very honored for that because the work that I've been doing is hard work, but I'm very happy to see that, you know, the work that I'm putting in is being recognized. And that light on my academy will also bring more light to persons living with disabilities, and it will raise more awareness, which is ultimately what I want, for more persons with disabilities to be included in society.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's amazing work that you're doing, and all that, or majority of that, you can say is under your youth sport academy, and you being hands-on as well as an adaptive and inclusive trainer. Now, I've read many testimonials from patients who have gone through your hands, so to speak, both literally and figuratively, and even in looking at your overall sort of CV, the word patience jumps out all the time. Is that something that you were born with, or is that something that you sort of developed to play a significant part in the work that you do today?
Yeah, I think it's been a culmination of experiences that caused me to have the empathy and patience that I have now. You know, I think that coming through sport, especially, and being the person or where it came from, that lack of confidence. You know, I think for me, if I had someone in that point of time to kind of be more patient and nurture me a little more, I could have gone, or I would have branched off a lot further. But for me now, I have that opportunity to be patient with someone and to help them actualize their own potential, you know? So for me, it's more of a mindset where I know it will take time. And I also understand that sometimes the behaviors that may be coming out, especially with autism, I know that it's not the individual, it's more the condition. So it helps me now to just look at the person and work with them as opposed to losing patience or being frustrated. So yeah, I think it's just a combination of my experiences throughout sport.
Yeah, that's great. That's great to hear. I mean, I've read about your extensive work with the differently able persons and all those things. Now, getting to the point, what has this Banyan Award done to you? What does this mean to you?
The Banyan Award for me is, I would say, injection of motivation. You know, is since I got it, I think is put a spotlight on me now. And it also caused me to say, hey, Akeem, like the work you've been doing has been recognized. Now we need to do more work, you know? Now we need to take it 10 steps further. Now we need to be more recognized. We need to get more voices out there, especially with persons living with disabilities. So now is to use my spotlight to kind of bring more light to this vulnerable community.
Yeah, and that's how it should be viewed. Of course, it's going to inspire you, hopefully, to bigger and better things. Now, I just want to get a perspective from you. What value would you place on the University of the West Indies Faculty of Sport experience as a contributor to what you've achieved thus far?
Oh, invaluable, man. I think the contributions of the academy, even in that's beyond academic, you know, I think the way how they supported me, because sometimes I've had to travel, and you know they were there to support me, to help me to continue my studies sometimes. So I think without that, I wouldn't be able to be here right now in the position that I am. Also, in terms of connecting, I think the academy has been really well in connecting me or networking me to persons that are already in the space as well. So for me, the academy I owe a lot to. and that is why I would always give back to the academy.
Okay, that's great. That's great to hear. I'm sure the different lecturers or dean at the faculty and all members of faculty
Yes.
will be so happy to hear these sort of complimentary words from you. Now, what are your future plans, if you want to share, of course, within reason, your future plans as a professional in this field to continue your distinguished work?
Yeah. In the future, well, near future, I will be presenting at Adaptive Sport Conference in Canada on the 1st of March, and that will be one of the first steps to propelling myself on the international level in the space. And to continue throughout the year, I'm planning to start up more programs, have more inclusive events, more bigger events for more people to participate, and also I'm looking to moving to some parts of the Caribbean as well.
That's great. Oftentimes we set ourselves a vision and a goal to achieve in the future, but we also have to match that and balance that with the different challenges and the obstacles that we face.
Yes.
Now, you have probably gone through quite a few experiences. What would you say are some of those challenges that you've faced throughout your journey thus far?
I think one of the biggest challenges for me in this space or coming through my journey right now is that being a trailblazer, so to speak, can be very lonely at times. It's very difficult because now I'm in a space where I don't really have much persons to, lean on in terms of being here with me physically. So it kind of puts me in a situation where I constantly have to stay focused, stay on it, trying to get help from probably overseas, try to talk to persons that are already in the space. And I think in terms of where disability is in the Caribbean, in Barbados, is still very taboo. So for me to be in the space now doing what I'm doing, it is very difficult in terms of trying to change perspectives, trying to get people to understand the benefits of what I'm doing. And that is an uphill climb, but I still press on. I think the results that I have with my clients are showing. My parents' voices are very important when they speak about the changes that they're seeing. So it's kind of using that fuel and momentum, and then stuff like the Banyan Award will also help to propel me and help persons to kind of, hey, maybe this can work, maybe this is working, maybe this is something we should try. So I think, being a trailblazer in a space that is not big in the Caribbean, because I'm the only person doing it right now. So I think, it gets a bit lonely, but I press on because I have the vision and I see where it can go and what it can do for many people.
Okay, excellent. We know that you have a strong resolve, and we know that you'll be able to navigate through those challenges over time. So everyone would know of what you've accomplished so far professionally. Many times you're speaking with a trailblazer, but many persons listening to an interview or following a person don't really get the opportunity to get up close and personal with that individual. So we're going to take it a little bit light now. And get to know you a little bit more. So I wanted you to describe yourself in 3 words. How would you describe yourself?
Patient,
Mm-hmm.
witty, and I would say courageous.
Courageous. Okay. I was thinking I'm ambitious, but
ambitious, yeah.
But that's good. Okay, so we're getting a better idea of the man himself, Akeem. Now, apart from what you do professionally, do you have other interests, whether it's in sport or in everyday life, something that occupies your time beyond your professional realm?
Yeah, I would say right now, my biggest interest outside of sport will be my niece. I think I spend so much time with her outside of sport or work. Just being there with her to see her grow, play with her, stuff like that. I think for me, no, outside of that, I also like photography. I take photos. So again, with her, I would just have my camera. We would go for drives. just taking photos and videos. So yeah, I think outside of my academic and professional, I would say spending time with my niece and family and photography.
Okay, excellent. Good to hear. And I know you come from Barbados, of course, across the entire region. Um, there are various sort of culinary delights that everyone enjoys. How would you say your preferences when it comes to food?
From Barbados or from in the Caribbean?
Generally speaking, what's your preference in food?
Okay, well, I love saltfish. You know saltfish? So
I thought
fish
you was going to say
cakes.
flying fish, but
So fish cakes. I love saltfish and rice. Right, to me, that's my favorite meal. Buljo is one of my favorites as well. So yeah, anything with saltfish, you have me. I'll be there for it.
okay, excellent. Now, plenty people listening on would want to find out in your time, of course, maybe prior to tertiary education and during that journey at the university, what words of encouragement and advice resonated with you that drove you to achieve what you've achieved and to continue keeping you so ambitious as an individual?
One of the biggest sets of advice that I think has helped me is everyone's path is not the same. I think we in Barbados or the Caribbean, I could also say that persons take similar routes. So is university is a straight and narrow path. And for all that, that is not the reality. So it's understanding that your path does not have to be the same as everyone else, but also taking pride in where you've come from and understanding and using that to kind of channel where you are going. I think that for me has been a push, to see that everything that I've done, even though it was not the straight and narrow path, I would say, in terms of general progression, I think I can see how all of that is helping me today. So I would say just embrace your path, embrace where you're going or where you came from, especially. And yeah, I think to me that's one of the biggest things that keeps me going.
Yeah, to crystallize that, they say it's the mountain climb to success is not one path. You can choose different paths to that peak of
Yes.
success. So well said. Um, could you share with us persons along the way who would have contributed significantly towards your development and your success?
Yeah, I would definitely start out with Javier. Javier from the university, he lectures. Um, Doc, um, I think Doc is Rudolph. What is his surname not coming to
Dr.
me?
Rudolph Allen.
Rudolph Allen, right? I just call him Doc, sorry.
Yeah,
But
I was
yeah,
thinking Dr. Akshay Mansingh, the dean
Dr.
of the
Allen.
faculty, but I know it's Dr. Rudolph Allen at
Yeah,
KVL
Dr.
campus in
Rudolph Allen,
Barbados.
he was definitely instrumental. I mean, from even listening to him speak to us in lectures, he's always one to kind of give you that mindset that you can go a lot further. So I would say massive kudos to him. Thanks a lot. My coach, my hockey coach, Colin Elcock. Everyone from the faculty of sport, honestly, I think outside of academia, outside of the regular programming, I think they are so instrumental and so motivational. They speak to you, they give you a lot of tips, and it's just a very good social environment being in the academy. And outside of that, there's so many people that I can say thanks to, but definitely I would say Dr. Rudolph Allen for sure.
Okay, well, Akeem, what I can say, you've closed with thanking persons, and a successful person is always able to recognize the support that he or she receives in that journey and that part, and your journey, of course, is still a long one to travel.
Yes.
On behalf of the University of the West Indies Faculty of Sport, once again, we want to thank you for allowing us to shine the spotlight on you as one of our trailblazers. We congratulate you on your Banyan Award. We hope that you do use it as an impetus for further success. And once more, we wish you all the very best and God bless. Thank you very much for giving us your time.
Thank you so much.